And welcome back. Here we are with a special draft event, Innistrad. This is my favorite draft format of all time, and it usually only comes around on Magic Online during the Halloween season, so it'll be here for about another week or so. I think this is perhaps one of the greatest draft formats of all time. It usually is rated very highly by all that play it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. As the draft's picks go by, I'll try to comment a little bit on the various mechanics and flavor, things that I think make it so great. I'm going to go ahead and make a contentious first decision, I think. Burning Vengeance is the reason that I love this format so very much. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, Burning Vengeance deals 2 to any target. That goes very well with the Flashback mechanic, as you can see in Travel Preparations, for instance. I'm also passing on a Travel Prep, Abyssinian Priest, and a Skurstag Cultist. I'm going to be taking Olivia Voldaren, though. She's a mythic rare, vampire, and a very fun tribe. That pains me so very much to pass the Burning Vengeance, but I think Olivia is a much safer pick, and even though she is 2 colors, Burning Vengeance is essentially a 2-color spell as well, blue and red being the primary 2 colors. Sometimes you splash a third for Flashback. But with that said, we're going to start things off with Olivia Voldaren, 4 mana, 3/3 flyer. She can, for 2 mana, deal 1 damage to other creatures and get stronger, and any other vampires she can just simply mind control. Also, her pinging ability turns them into vampires. So for 7 mana, you can turn a Juggernaut into a vampire and then make it yours. Or if it's just like a blood-crazed neonate or something, you can take it at will. Not the best pack here. We're going to take the Moan of the Unhallowed, but I'll take this chance to kind of explain. So one of the reasons this format is so great is the balance of the tribes. Usually that's not always the case. There's sometimes a pretty big range between the best and the worst tribes of the guilds of Ravnica or the clans on Tarkir, that kind of thing. The 5 tribes here are red-black vampires, blue-black zombies, green-red werewolves, blue-white spirits, and humans are in all colors, but most especially in green and white. So typically, decks are going to be in one of those 5 color combinations, and I think they're all pretty well balanced. They all have their different strengths and fun things that they can do. The other cool mechanics, one being Flashback, my favorite mechanic of all time, I think, lets you cast a spell and then cast it again from the graveyard. So if you're casting the spell the first time, or you're milling yourself and it ends up in the graveyard anyway, you can always cast it a second time for additional value, and that's where Burning Vengeance is at its strongest in a Flashback deck, usually blue and red. We don't really have the best third pick here, nothing really to follow up Olivia or the Moan of the Unhallowed. Unburial Rites is one way to get back Olivia, I suppose. Bump in the Night, Walking Corpse, Traveler's Amulet. There's really not much here. I think Unburial Rites is, it's pretty mediocre. There's really not anything that you want to reanimate. Self-mill yourself and then reanimate it. Some kind of bomb rare that ends the game on the spot. Olivia's pretty close to it, but she can protect herself well enough by being a vampire. She's resilient to a lot of removal, and she can also grow herself out of reach of most burn spells. So she's pretty safe, but if she does happen to die, then Unburial Rites can get her back. Scourge of Gaia Reach is not all that impressive. A 5 mana 3/3 that just gets bigger for every creature that your opponents control. The best cards here, I think, are definitely green and blue, Dark Thicket Wolf and Hollowhead Scavenger. Morbid, another mechanic, you gain some life. Morbid just meaning if a creature has died this turn, you get an additional effect. Memory's Journey, Think Twice, and Sensory Deprivation are all quite good in blue. We're just going to take the Scourge. Again, I'm not that excited to play it, but we really just kind of work out what is open even. We haven't really seen a clear indication one way or another. The pack is still relatively early, so we'll keep our eyes open. Not all that exciting. The Hanweir Watchkeep. Yet another cool mechanic in Transform. I apologize if you're not able to see the second half. I'll try my best to explain what it does. A 3 mana 1/5 Defender. The way that Transform works in the Werewolf archetype is that if no spell was cast on the previous turn, then the following turn's upkeep, it transforms, in this case, into a 5/5 that must attack every combat if able. That's not unique to werewolves necessarily. There are other cards that do transform as well, but it's primarily a werewolf mechanic. Generally, you want to be on the play, playing your creatures on curve, and if your opponent ever stumbles, they transform and get really big. There's also a Bonds of Faith, which is definitely better than the Watch Keep, I think. I'm going to go ahead and take the Watch Keep, though, because it's in our colors. And this is a promising sign. Pitchburn Devils, Rage Thrower, and Abattoir Ghoul are probably the 3 best cards in the pack, and they happen to both be in our colors, or all 3 be in our colors. Question is, which one do we take? I personally really like the Pitchburn Devils. It can block, and then if it dies, for instance, blocking like Juggernaut, 5/5, Galvanic Juggernaut, I think, it can then finish it off with the additional 3 damage from its death trigger. This works really well if you have like a Skursdag Cultist or Disciple of Gristlebrand, other cards in red and black that deal with sacrifice. You can sacrifice it on demand. There's also the Abattoir Ghoul. We're not going to get back the Rage Thrower or the Pitchburn, but I guess if we have to send a signal on what color to take, we'd rather it be one instead of both. I'm going to take the Ghoul here. That's really disappointing. The past 2, not bomb rare, or bit bomb, whatever, uncommon and common, but powerful nonetheless, and the best cards in the pack, both being red. It is unfortunate to pass. Rolling Tumbler still being in the pack is a good sign again. It's not really what we want to be doing when we're casting 2/2 zombies and 3/2s to deal 2 damage to all of our own creatures that don't fly, but just having this available is always good insurance. You don't have to cast it if it's not advantageous, and if you're getting beaten down by a bunch of green-white humans, then this is one of the best cards you can ask for. Okay, the hits keep coming. Stensia Bloodhall seems like a slam dunk. It's a nice little colorless land, doesn't really cost that much to add to our deck, and it gives you reach, 2 damage to a player or planeswalker for 5 mana. So starting like on turn 6 or so. If you got nothing better to do, you can always Bloodhall. There's also Geist Flame, though, which I really like a lot. It's not as good at finishing your opponent as the Bloodhall, but it is very good at either finishing off a creature, as it is an instant. You can use it especially well with First Strike, take down 4 toughness creatures. You can also use it to just pick off some spirits and other X1s, like the Rotting Fen Snake, something like that. I'm going to go and take it over the Bloodhall. That might be, I think it's the correct decision. It might be incorrect. I guess we'll have to live with our choice, though. I very much like Geist Flame. To follow that up, we have an unimpressive Fen Snake that I just mentioned, Curse of Oblivion, Thraben Sentry, Spectre. These are all the dregs of the pack. Really don't need anything here. I guess we'll take the Fen Snake, just trying to continue to cut our 2 colors away. That or the Riot Devils, neither is particularly interesting. Speaking of reach, we have Curse of Stalked Prey. If you play this, I'm thinking of a different one, the Pierced Heart. Stalked Prey, I'm going to go and take it, even though I'm not that excited to play it. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player that's cursed, this is essentially an enchantment that enchants a player instead of a creature or just general enchantment doing its thing. Basically, your creatures attack, and if they get through, they get bigger for the following attacks. We're going to take Bump in the Night. We can maybe kind of shift into like a burn heavy deck. That's the curse I was thinking of. Pierced Heart goes well with our Bump in the Night, Nightbird's Clutches, making it difficult for opponents to block. We might be able to put something together here. And even a last pick Vampire, Strongkirk Patrol. He already gets bigger by dealing damage, so with a Curse of Stalked Prey, he'll get twice as big every hit. So this is kind of nice. Every card we took was red or black, or both. There's the Juggernaut. Unfortunately, we kind of missed here. I'm going to take the Juggernaut, but there's also Victim of Night, Bonds of Faith, probably the next 2 best cards. Also, Ulvenwald Mystics is pretty decent. Gutter Grime, Boneyard Worm, all outside of our colors, sadly. Also, the way that the packs are constructed, they're normal in the sense that there's a rare or mythic rare, 3 uncommons, and a bunch of commons. There's also a slot reserved for the transform cards, which can either be common, uncommon, rare, or I think mythic rare in one instance, the Planeswalker, Garrick, Relentless. Later they'll have mythic werewolves, but nothing just yet. So it's possible to open up multiple rares. Also, you can get a foil, so you could have maybe 3 rares and mythic rares in the same pack, which is kind of cool. Again, Bonds of Faith, Ulvenwald Mystics, very good picks here, but we're going to take the Juggernaut and be happy about it. It's especially good if you have ways to sacrifice your own creatures. It's a 4 mana 5/5 that attacks every combat if able. Problem is that he doesn't untap unless another creature dies. Wow, okay. This is a very strong pack. Fiend Hunter, Tribute to Hunger, have my eye on, but Skursdag High Priest, this is pretty sweet. 2 mana for a 1/2, but if any creature died during this turn, you can use this on your opponent's turn as well. You tap 2 untapped creatures that you control, as well as the High Priest, and you get a 5/5 Flying Demon. 5/5 is pretty big. It's hard to answer a creature that size, and there's not a whole lot of answers to flyers. You can maybe weaken them a little bit with like One-Eyed Scarecrow, but a lot of the removal also is creature-based. Fiend Hunter and Slayer of the Wicked, Pitchburn Devils, that kind of thing. So they're a little more easy to play around in some cases. There aren't very many things though, like Destroy Target Creature or Tribute to Hunger. They're easy enough to counterman, so we're going to go ahead and take the High Priest to be happy. Well, I was looking at Brimstone Volley, Harvest Pyre, another victim, but, well, 1 priest is good, 2's got to be great. Very happy to take that. He's even foil, even though this is a Phantom Cube. We don't get to keep the cards, but a foil priest to follow him up with, that's pretty solid. Yeah, we're just looking for better removal now to make it easier to enable our demon strategy. Brimstone Volley, sad to see that go. Hopefully we get one ourselves. Geist Flame, Lantern Spirit, and Grasp of Phantoms, both pretty good in the Spirits deck and in a Flashback, whether it's tempo-based, killing your opponent with Spirits, or flashing them back with Burning Vengeance out. We're going to take the Geist Flame though. Traitor's Blood is also decent. If you're aggressive, you steal your opponent's creature, it can no longer block, and now it's even adding its damage with Trample as well to your own. And if you can sacrifice it somehow with like a Skursdag High Priest or again Disciple of Gristlebrand, then even better. You can steal their creature, hit them with it, and then kill it to do some other effect. But yeah, Geist Flame, nice way to enable the Skursdag High Priest, hopefully. Wow, black is definitely where we want to be. We've got Deadweight, Morkrut Banshee, and Sever the Bloodline. All very powerful, efficient cards. Deadweight, perhaps one of the premier removal spells, a single mana to either kill something or shrink it so you can attack through it, or finish it off after already attacking into it if you just really need it dead. Morkrut Banshee, Morbid, gives something -4/-4. Sever the Bloodline, exiles a creature and all creatures named the same, so it's really good against like Spirit Token or Spider Token, in that it gets rid of all of them. You can even flashback, sever, and do it again a second time. I think we're going to take that over the Banshee and the Deadweight. I would very much wish that these were in different packs. I would like to take them too, but unfortunately I cannot. Here we have a Screeching Bat. It's a vampire, sometimes. It goes back and forth between being a Wind Drake, 3-mana 2/2 flyer, and at the beginning of your upkeep you can pay 4 to transform it back and forth into its alternate form, just a 5/5. So depending on if you need the damage or the evasion, it does both. Also Village Cannibals, Blazing Torch, these are both fine, but I'll take the bat. There's the Disciple and the Moan of the Unhallowed. I like the Disciple for enabling Skursdag pretty easily, but Moan of the Unhallowed I think is just better for us. We've actually got quite a bit of flashback already. Sever, 2 Moans, Tembler, double Geist Flame. That's a lot more actually than I was expecting. I think this is better than the Disciple, so we're going to go ahead and take it. But that's a close call. I wouldn't fault anyone for taking the Sack Outlet, knowing that we might still get some other morbid effects, and like the Banshee and Rolling, or I can't think of the name now. I'll think to it in a moment. But also just being able to Traitor's Blood, that's one, to steal your opponent's creature and then sacrifice it, always good. Here we'll just take the tapped 2/2 zombie for 1 mana. It's a nice early blocker, early aggressor. We can throw it away later with the High Priest or something. The Brimstone Volley was the Morbid that I was thinking of in red. Deals 3 damage normally, but with Morbid deals 5. Curse of Oblivion, Vampiric Fury, neither's good. Ulvenwald Mystic still being here. Green must be somewhat open, I guess. Also the Spider's decent. I don't really think we need a Pitchfork. I'll just take a Curse, I guess. Alright, a Patrician, a Vampire, 3/1 with lifelink. Also Altar's Reap, another way to trigger Morbid. But you need like 4 creatures then to make use of it, and a High Priest. You need the Priest, 2 untapped creatures, and another to sack to Altar's Reap. I think we just take the Patrician. It's not very impressive, as you can see. It dies to like a Geist Flame or something. That feels bad, losing your 3-drop to half of a 1 mana spell, but we'll take it anyway. Harvest Pyre, nice little way to clean up something later in the game. Deals X damage based on how many cards you're able to exile from your graveyard, so works well with cheap, expendable creatures dying and then using them later. Another Markov Patrician or a Typhoid Rats. I like the Rats. They're just a nice cheap card to play, maybe 2-3 spells in one turn. Another Strong Kirk Patrol and Night Terrors. I wouldn't have minded taking that second Markov Patrician. There's not really any vampire synergy we have, but it's nice to have a theme, even if it doesn't actually help us that much. Typhoid Rats just being able to block anything, as opposed to something with only 3 toughness or less, and kill it. It was nice. Wow, all the rares. I think we've opened every on-color rare. Yeah, red, black. I don't think we actually opened a rare in Pack 2, but we immediately got past double Scourgedag High Priest and Sever the Bloodline, which was quite nice. We have Rakish Heir, which is nice if you have enough vampires to justify it. Crossway Vampire, those Bloodline Neonates, Blood Frenzy, whatever Neonates. Blood Crazed, I think. 2-drop that must attack every turn. This is very nice to follow that up with. Also Blasphemous Act, which just kills everything. 9 mana, but it usually costs like 5, 6, maybe even less, to deal 13 to every creature. Crossway Vampire, as I mentioned, is quite good. I think we take the Heir, however. Goes well with the other vampires. I was wrong earlier that the Patrician, second one, if we had taken it, there actually are some vampire synergies we might have yet. I think I like this better than the Blasphemous Act. We already have double Geist Flame, Sever the Bloodline, and Rolling Tumbler. We don't really need another semi-sweeper. I think we take the Heir here. Some more targeted removal would be good. Brimstone Volley and Victim of Night, especially. Oh, there's the Volley. Yeah, not even really a close contention. We already have a Tembler, so I don't really think I'll ever need a second. We already have 2, essentially, with Flashback. Man or Skeleton. Looks like a skeleton to me. Kessig Wolf, all pretty good. We're just going to take the Brimstone Volley, however. Be very happy about it. Maybe another Volley and another cool vampire or something. Some Neonates, another Rakish Heir, things like that. Another Fiend Hunter. Already passed one of those earlier in the draft, but it is far too late, I think, to take that. Happy to take the Heir, however. Not much else in that pack that was really worth even mentioning. Alright, I think we can afford to cut the Scourge. I actually kind of like the Strong Kirk Patrols with double Rakish Heir, and it's just a nice little flavorful addition. We're basically all vampires except for some notable zombies, Abattoir Ghoul, Nemone of the Unhallowed, a werewolf, and some human clerics to worship our vampire hordes. This is pretty cool. And the deck, it's not the strongest deck. I wonder how things might have been different had we taken that first pick, Burning Vengeance. I don't really think that we would have had a strong deck in that case either. Of course, things would have been different had we taken the early blue cards instead of passing them to signal our other drafters that blue was open. Black definitely seemed to be the right place to be, though, with the double High Priest, all these Moan of the Unhallowed, Sever the Bloodline. These are just too good to ignore, so another time, perhaps, we'll have some fun with Burning Vengeance. Invisible Stalker is one of the only negatives of Innistrad that I can think of. It's just impossible to interact with. Ironically, Rolling Tumbler next to it is one of the few ways that you can actually deal with it before it's carrying like a Butcher's Cleaver or a Spectral Flight, anything really that puts its toughness higher than 2. And now you have a 3, 4, 5 power hexproof unblockable creature that will kill you. And with like a Butcher's Cleaver, it's even gaining life as well. We're going to take the Neonate. I think it's better than the Patrician. It's good for explosive starts. There's also Traitorous Blood. But yeah, we'll just take the Neonate. And another Geist Flame to follow it up with. That's just fine. Then again, the second Patrician would have been okay, but we already have enough 3-drops, I think, for sure. Another Geist Flame, always happy to take those. Making some early cuts. We can probably deal without the Bump in the Night, the Tembler, Curse of Stalked Prey, and Pierced Heart. Might bring back the Stalked Prey, we'll see. Another Abattoir Ghoul, yes please, that sounds good to me. Another Moan of the Unhallowed. Ashmouth Hound is pretty decent, it actually trades with a lot of 3/4 drops even that have 3 toughness. Works well with Geist Flame as well. You can block a or attack, and if they block with a 2 toughness creature, after the 1 damage goes through from the Hound, you can finish it with a Geist Flame. But yeah, another Moan of the Unhallowed. It's hard to argue against that. I guess the only argument is that we have quite a few 4s, but is that really a problem when they're all good 4 drops? I'm not really sure. I think it's just fine. We still have a few more cuts to make, however. And yeah, probably getting down to the last unplayables. We have yet to take a card that was not red or black. That's actually somewhat impressive. The last card of every pack has even been red and black. Usually you don't have such good luck there. Village Ironsmith, just a 1/1 first striker that can become a 3/1 first striker. Ghoul Razor to get back some of our dead ghouls at random. Another Bump in the Night for some extra reach. I'll take a Bump in the Night, actually. Against some decks, we might just need that extra bump of reach to get over after they stabilize behind a wall of blockers or something, and we only have, you know, medium creatures left. We can maybe deal an extra 6 damage to them, or cause an additional 6 loss of life. The Blasphemous Act did come back, but so did the Crossway Vamps. I think I actually like them better for what we're trying to do. We already have a semi-sweeper. We're not really trying to sweep, we're trying to attack, and Crossway Vampire enables us to do that by getting rid of blockers. Still rolling Templars here, that is so surprising. I guess I'm going to take it. In matchups where it's good, it's very good. And our opponent will almost certainly not expect it from a deck like ours. Personally, I'm not expecting to play it very much, but against a spider spawning deck or an aggressive green-white strategy, you can always just hold on to your sensitive creatures that died to it, and then tempo them and play your creatures after. I don't really think we need any of these. Tick Traitor's Blood might actually make it. Another Bump in the Night, and a Nightbird's Clutches. We did it. Every single card, except for the 3 basic lands, is red and black. We almost even had mono swamps. Came close, but didn't quite get there. So, we have a few cuts to make. Our curve is actually fairly decent. The thing with Harvest Pyre in this deck is that a lot of the spells that are easiest to get into the grave, we don't want to exile them because we want to flash them back. Actually, every single spell except for the Brimstone Volley has Flashback. And the Harvest Pyre, of course. So that is one consideration. We can probably afford to cut it. We already have triple Geist Flame, Brimstone, and Sever to deal with our opponent's creatures. We do want to be killing things to get these Skurstag High Priests online. Markov Patrician I'm not that keen on, but with double Rakish Air, that can very quickly win any race in which life is sensitive. Growing out of control and gaining us life in the process. We don't necessarily need 2 Stromkirk Patrols. This might be a 16 land deck. We do want to get to flashing back Moan of the Unhallowed and Sever. We need 7 to do that. I don't really think we need the Nightbird's... well, So Nightbird's Clutches is good with the Bloodcrazed Neonate. I don't really want to play one without the other. If we are playing the Neonate, I would like Nightbird's Clutches to help get it through those first couple turns to make it grow. It's very unfortunate when you're forced to attack into like a 1/4 zombie Armored Scob and throw away your Bloodcrazed Neonate. Again, like Werewolves, you want to play a card like this on the play only, if you can. With that said, we could definitely cut it, I think. This would be 17. We could maybe add back a Stromkirk Patrol or Nightbird, or even the Harvest Pyre. Let's recombine these. We do need more 2-drops, and Bloodcrazed Neonate is 1. Triple Bump in the Night. But I think we want to have more of a creature-based approach instead of just trying to directly burn our opponents out quickly. We want to play creatures and whittle them down and maybe finish them in like game 2 or 3 with Bump in the Night after they get more defensive. I kind of like this. I think I will try it. Let's go ahead and see what lands it suggests. 10 swamps, 7 mountains. I like that. The only double red we have is the Crossway Vampire, and you're not really trying to play that on curve necessarily. That's like a turn 5 play. to make it so that your Juggernaut or your Abattoir ghouls can get in, something like that. So I think we're happy to play with what we have and see where it takes us. Yeah, I think it's the deck. Stay tuned, everybody. We have match 1 coming right up with a pretty medium hand. This actually seems perfectly fine. We have the Skurstak High Priest with a couple of zombies, hopefully coming to join him. And if we can find like an X1 to pick off on turn 5, we can kill our opponent's creature and make a demon. Assuming our High Priest is still around. I'm going to go and play him out, even though we're exposing him to like a Fiend Hunter or something. So green-white, probably some travel preparations in our opponent's deck. Okay, this is a nice little curve. It's too bad the Moan of the Unhallowed doesn't produce vampires. But if our opponent does want to attack us, we might be able to get in with the Rakish Air, and it will very quickly grow into a formidable threat. Yeah, Avacyn's Pilgrim, our Geist Flame is going to be great. Oh, Geist Flame is going to be fantastic here. Opponent's going to throw the Hamlet Captain in there. I'm surprised, actually. I might expect them not to. We'll see. They're going to do it. Alright. So the Hamlet Captain, whenever he attacks or blocks, other humans that are attacking and blocking with him get +1/+1. Actually, they don't even have to be with him. They still get it. So here, it's unfortunate that the ghoul comes in tapped. I'd be able to play him, Geist Flame the mob or the Pilgrim away, and then play out the High Priest. But sadly, one option we have is to play the Moan this turn, and then maybe next turn we can Geist Flame the mob away and then flash it back and kill the Avacyn's Pilgrim as well. Let's go ahead and attack with the air. I very much doubt that our opponent's going to double block here, but if they do, we blow them out with a Geist Flame. They don't. Alright, so we get a 3/3. And now we have our Moan. In the next turn, we're ready to kill potentially 2 of our opponent's creatures and spawn a 5/5 demon that will pretty much put the game away immediately. So we just need our Skurstak to survive one more turn. This is going to be very difficult for our opponent to deal with, I think. We could even prolong their pain by saving the Geist Flame. I'd like to flash it back and get rid of this Avacyn's Pilgrim to deny them a 5-drop next turn, or activating the Gavany Township. That's actually really scary if they use it right now. I hope they don't. They did. Well, that's fine. We're still going to get to Geist Flame the mob away. Could actually just... That's a 3/3. We could, okay, whatever. I'll throw one away to kill it. Well, actually, I really want to get rid of this Captain as well, but we'll have a 5/5 demon to do that soon enough anyway. I don't want this to get much bigger. Can actually tango with the demon. So we'll go ahead and kill that. And then, next turn... Alright, Olivia joins the fray. It is unfortunate in that this ghoul comes in tapped. I want my demon, so I think I may just kill off this Pilgrim and get one. Don't get to attack with the Rakish Air, sadly, but that's fine. So we're going to hit that Pilgrim. This also takes them off with mana for their turn. Hit that Pilgrim again. And make a friend. And the damage is done. Even if our opponent can deal with the demon, we still have Olivia coming, and any removal just turns into spawning very, very threatening creatures. Excuse me. So that Gavany Township is quite unfortunately going to pose a threat if our opponent gets it up and running. We need to probably bring in some number of rolling Temblers actually to keep their creatures under control. If they can curve like 2/3 into 4 and then drop the Gavany Township and start bolstering them, that's going to definitely be a problem. We have Harvest Pyre, which can usually finish off some low drops. I think this is okay. We can bring in some of these Temblers, in which case we can sculpt our deck around it. we can take out, for instance, the Diagraph Ghoul. Well, Diagraph Ghoul is actually an early play that will be good at stopping a Hamlet Captain. We don't necessarily have to Tembler until the coast is clear. It is unfortunate that all of our Moan tokens and Abattoir Ghouls fall to it. That's okay. I think we can actually lower our curve and remove some lands even. Take out a Swamp in the Patrol, bring in the Temblers, and just try to deprive our opponent of any board and finish them as we did with High Priests, Olivia, really any combination of these creatures. I think we can try that. Since we're going to be on the draw, the being down a land isn't necessarily an issue. This is not the greatest hand, but I'll go ahead and keep it. One more land and we have at least a Screeching Bat. Making that into a 5/5 will be sufficient, I think. There's Olivia. If we can just go Mountain, Mountain. After that, never need to draw a land again. But Moan of the Unhallowed producing multiple blockers, Sever the Bloodline, being able to deal with a creature regardless of its toughness. I like the sound of those. Crossway Vampire is not going to be all that impressive here. There's the Township and the Captain. Alright, this is going to be tricky. We at least have Olivia coming soon. She can start picking things off. If our opponent stumbles on land for one turn, I think we're going to be fine. Oh, second Township? Okay. That's actually not a problem, having two. Makes so our opponent can cast less colored spells, but holy moly, this is the time for a Rolling Tembler off the top. What I would give for a Rolling Tembler. I think our opponent's going to attack with the Captain, the Traveler. Oh, not at all. Okay. Tembler? Rolling Tembler? Win the game? No. Alright, well, we do have two of them. If our opponent finds a land, we still have a turn to wipe out everything, but this is going to be difficult. We can always get the 2-for-1 also, severing the mobs. This is really bad if they get a land, because everything is going to get too big. This is going to be a 3/3, and it's going to pump all these up into 3/3s as well. Don't really have much of a choice, however. Man, what I would give for a Rolling Tembler right now. Let's just Moan of the Unhallowed, trade off to maybe like kill the Hamlet Captain if they want to tap out to use their Township, and then I probably could have attacked with the Screeching Bat. We'll see. They can attack with the Pilgrim at least, but we can like double block the Captain and then next turn sever the two unruly mobs. So this is going to hurt, but I think it's going to be fine actually. Didn't attack still. Alright, Tembler, Tembler, Tembler. This is the turn for it. Okay. So their opponent's still going to have a Captain and a Spirit token. That's okay though. We do kill the unruly mobs before they get out of hand. I unfortunately lose my zombies, and I can't even attack with them, sadly, because they can trade a Doom Traveler for one. That'll grow the two unruly mobs, so we don't want that. Also, if they like block with a Captain, it grows the whatever. Let's just go ahead and wipe them out. And it's nice having, oh yeah, there we go. It's nice having the Flashback for one more mana. That's always going to be a concern for our opponent. Right. The mobs get really big even though they're dead. Our opponent is no longer able to use the Township unless they have another land. And I think we're going to go ahead and attack. I'll trade 2 damage to our opponent for 4 in return. It's really just 1 from the Spirit, maybe 2 if they want to use their whole turn to Gavany Township it up, which they might. Looks like they will. But we'll have Olivia Voldaren, and that will definitely stabilize us, I think. What's going on over there? There it is. Alright, so I wouldn't have wanted to really trade this Screeching Bat for a Spirit. Taking 6 down to 11. That's a little scary, but we've got Olivia coming. A land off the top would be very nice because we could even use Olivia's ability to ping. There we go. Let's go ahead and play her out. I'm just going to go ahead and throw the bat in there too. And this is nice, our opponent having a bit of mana trouble. If they want to use the township, we get to see I can block the spirit with Olivia, and then when they go to pump the spirit to make it trade, I can grow it and prevail. But they might have like a Fiend Hunter here or something like that, and that's going to be annoying. Nope, they're just going to use that. Alright. And prey upon. Okay, I can actually, it's not ideal, but it's fine. I can do damage to you, grow into a 4/4, and now we trade. Aha! So I still have to deal with this spirit before it kills me. I'm not going to transform, I need to add to the board. Rakish. This is unfortunately not yet able to, it's not a vampire, it's just a bat. So we could just deal with the spirit, with the sever. We could add, let's add some more zombies to the board rather. Our opponent can hit us for 4 next turn, setting up a kill in 2, and then we'll be forced to sever the bloodline. And that's the case, I wish I had played the Moan out earlier, I think. Just to actually get some pressure. If our opponent's using the Gavany Township, then they're not playing blockers. Let's see what else they have over there. 2 cards in hand. Just gonna go all in on the spirit and try and kill me next turn, I think. That's okay. We're gonna hit them for 6 here. And if we find a land, we can even add a Rakish Heir while we're at it. Nope. And we're Watchkeep. Alright, well we get to do the sever anyway, and then next turn, if we find a land ever, we always have the backup, Flashback, Sever the Bloodline. But I am going to go ahead and have to answer that now. And pass. Oh man, Gavany Township. It's very difficult to deal with. Can be. Creeping Renaissance. Alright, we might just be able to kill them here. They can get back creatures. Never mind, we cannot kill them. They have like Doom Travelers that they can play. Yeah. If I find a land off the top, we can kill them. If I transform this into a 5/5 and then have Crossway Vampire so this can't block, that is sufficient. That's unfortunate if I miss, however. Let's go for it. We are red-black, we are impulsive Rakdos players. Well, that doesn't quite do it either. I can kill the Doom Traveler with Geist Flame, but then it doesn't work so well. So let's go ahead and force them to block and deal with that. I guess I could Geist Flame the Spirit token now before it can become bigger. Embiggened, as it were. Let's just get it off the board. So what do they even have in play? Everything we've killed so far, it's like double Unruly Mob and Hamlet Captain, I think. Can scroll up a bit and probably see. It just says Creeping Renaissance, doesn't actually say which ones. But we're both at 4. We've got 3 attackers and 1 way of making it so that blocking would be difficult. Alright, Gallows Warden and another Traveler. And a Pilgrim. That was the other one. So they're just going to play all the 1-drops. Let's remain as we are. Skursdag. So I can Tembler, and that kills my own zombies, kills these two, gives them spirits. I don't want to do that. Okay. I can Crossway Vampire so that the Doom Traveler can't block. Then though they get to... I really needed one more land, that would be nice. I can make them lose the Avacyn's Pilgrim, but then the Gallows Warden stays behind. Huh, this is actually a problem. Because they can just grow the Gallows Warden. I might have needed to transform this vampire. I cannot deal with the Gallows Warden. I have no flyers. I can't compel them to block with it. Huh. We can always hope that they misplay out of fear. So, they don't know we didn't draw land this turn. Let's say that the Doom Traveler is unable to block. Attack with everybody. They're just going to eat a zombie with the Warden, I think. Even though they know the Geist Flame is there. Nothing we can do about it. And then chump the Stalking Vampire. One more mana and we could have finished off the Gallows Warden. Also could have made it so that like the Warden couldn't block and pinged the whichever Avacyn's Pilgrim, something like that. So yeah, they have the win if they go for the Gavany Township. I guess I had to transform the vampire, but I think we were still going to be in big trouble then because they still have numerous creatures in the grave. Or from the grave, Creeping Renaissance, that they can play. I was not expecting that. But that's going to do it. Needed that 7th land, sadly. What was the next card? It was... Alright. Well, that was a close game. Let's see what we can do about it. That was a good time for bumping the Knight. Knight's Terrors is also quite good against Creeping Renaissance, but again, we're trying to actually kill our opponent, not just keep them from setting up their combo play, so I don't think that's actually what we need here. I think we just need to hope for a better start. If we had drawn that Rolling Tembler like a turn sooner, that Hamlet Captain would have been able to do so much damage. Let's just keep it as it is. I will play first. Okay. Typhoid can trade with something, as can the Patrician, and that hopefully buys us enough time to play out Olivia, find mountains for her, and nothing else, so we just keep drawing swamps. We can at least play the Abattoir. Cool. If I could draw a mountain next turn, that would be great. I think I would still play the Patrician, depending on what they do here. Yeah, if it's a Hamlet Captain. Well, I'll offer the trades. Play our Patrician. Next turn we have Abattoir. We do need a mountain, however. Elder Cathar. Okay. I do like the Ghoul at least. He can gain us life, and with First Strike, he can answer Hamlet Captain, perhaps, with the help of like an Olivia Ping or something. Alright, we need a mountain now. Mountain would be great. I'll take the moon, I guess. Our opponent can still get in there with the Orchard Spirit, sadly. We need Olivia to deal with that. Thankfully, no Gavany Township yet. That's going to pretty much be our end when it does come. I still can't really even attack. Abattoir Ghoul is just going to eat a Doom Traveler, and then they get an extra power that can attack us with. This is unfortunate. 5 lands and no mountains, and there's the township. That's going to be game, I think. That was poor timing. Yep. Taking 7 a turn now. Need a mountain. I'm not going to transform just in case we draw it, because Olivia is really our only chance of victory. If I find one more land next turn, we can like ping a creature and even steal it with Olivia. Here, I need to start gaining some life, I think. I'm actually going to go ahead and attack, even if this gives them an extra like 2 power with, well, that's probably not right. Yeah, I gotta play Olivia and hope to draw a land and hope that they can't deal with her somehow. And the next turn I can use 2 mana to ping the Gallows Warden and 5 to steal it with. This is very unfortunate that we were delayed a mountain for so long. Probably gonna need to chump block with the Screeching Bat. If these grounders get in, even if I do some unfavorable blocks, I don't really have much of a choice. Taking 9 damage here. Okay. I'm gonna save a little bit of life here. Okay, land. Oh my goodness. All right, if we turn this around, I'll be very, very pleased. If they ever draw removal, though, Prey Upon. Actually, Prey Upon I can answer in response. I can steal it. Lord Cathar. 1 card in hand. Alright, can Olivia go the distance? Can she take this game over? I think so, but I could be wrong. If they attack with both, this is going to be very good for us. Nothing. Alright, I get to start stealing stuff. Let's take the Gallows Warden. You serve a new master now. You serve me. Okay. Yeah, I think our opponent's in a lot of trouble. I don't know how they can answer an Olivia, really. Very curious. I don't want to attack into a Rebuke. That is one way to lose the game very quickly. We only need 1 flying blocker. I don't even need 1 because I can steal the Orchard Spirit as it's attacking. Okay. I think we might just have this. We can buy enough time to hopefully steal some creatures. Our opponent has no cards in hand. If they draw Prey Upon, I take it in response. I do have to throw away some creatures now, but I've got 1 Death Toucher. I can steal our opponent's attackers and use them to block the following turn. Probably should have done it before. That's okay. Yeah, let's take that Orchard Spirit. Because I can now use the Orchard Spirit to block something, but this is probably okay. Let's move to blocks. Death Toucher here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have to throw away Olivia, thankfully, so I definitely made a mistake. I should have stolen this before it got to attack, but I guess I could actually let like the Doom Traveler through. There's no reason to do that though, or the Fox or whatever. I'm just gonna throw my stuff away and play a little bit more defensively now. I got a little. Okay, well, opponent's not gonna endure the agony of watching their creatures slowly change sides, but yeah, Olivia, if she's not like the best rare in the set, mythic rare, she's at least in like the top 3 behind maybe Geist Honored Monk, Bloodline Keeper. Those are really the only things in contention. She is a 1-woman army, as we can see, given enough time. So that is match 1. Let's go ahead and move on to match 2. Stay tuned, everybody. Alrighty, here we are in match 2 again on the play. with a very medium hand. I'm going to go ahead and keep it, however. We've got our colors and enough lands to play anything in our deck, except for some expensive flashback spells. We have a 3 into a pair of 2s. 3-drop into a 4-drop, giving us a bunch of bears. I'd say that that is adequate. And if we're against Island, we're probably playing maybe a slower deck. Uh-oh. Blue-black, that's interesting. Usually Dream Twist you see in the blue-red Burning Vengeance deck, or the blue-black and green Spider Spawning deck. So it looks like we're playing Spider Spawn. And they're just going ham, milling themselves, Runic Repetition. They haven't really hit anything that good yet. Creatures, yes, which feed the Spider Spawn. Kindercatch and Ludovic's Test Subject. But they haven't played anything yet to the board. This is the turn where they play where they could have played the Armor Ska, but it looks like they're still just twisting dreams, and there's the Spider Spawning. We're going to have to deal with that eventually. It costs 7 mana. They get a 1/2 spider for every creature in the grave. It is going to be very hard to win if they get that down. Our opponent's already been through half their deck, essentially. And fortunately, yeah, I've already milled the Runic Repetition, which lets them return an exiled card with Flashback back to hand. So that's more spiders being spawned. But we'll see what happens. We're going to need to rush them down quickly. This is going to be a matchup probably for Bump in the Night. There's the crab. So we could get a little bit more damage through if we moan and then we use the vampire, but they could easily play another creature. So I think we're just going to try and force this through now. Say that that can't block and attack for 7. It's a fair amount. Opponent would probably have like a Gnaw to the Bone and gain a bunch of life, sadly. Gee, a 3rd Dream Twist. Wow. Yeah, they got some very powerful flashback spells here. But no blue mana to cast it, so that's nice. And yeah, they have no more creatures. We're going out on their face. We're gonna try and Geist Flame them down. Okay. I could throw away the Patrician to get an extra 3 damage through. Yeah, we're trying to kill them quick before they Spider Spawn. Our Patrician's not going to do anything then. We're at 2 life. Effectively at 1 life with the Geist Flame. Let's get more attackers out, actually. And if we draw another Geist Flame or Brimstone Volley or something like that, then we've got them. If they have Gnaw to the Bone, we're in trouble. It gains them a lot of life. They just Dream Twisted again. Oh, there's the Gnaw to the Bone. But it only gets them up to 8. They still need something else, another blocker. That's it. Alright, that's all. So they were very unlucky. Look at all these lands that they milled. Half of their deck, 13 cards left, they had milled 2 Ludovic's Test Subjects and a Kindercatch. That's it. They were 1 mana short of the Spider Spawning. So, yeah, that'll do it. We need to kill them very quickly through that stupid Gnaw to the Bone that can gain an absurd amount of life. I realize that we don't really need to be as scared of the Spider Spawns, however. We have Double Rolling Tumbler. That is the counter, essentially, because the spiders, it's a sorcery, so they can't be like flashed in end of turn, and they don't have haste. So we have at least a turn to respond to them, and Rolling Tumbler, you can even cast it twice. So we just, every wave of spiders, we can Tumbler them. I think we're going to be just fine for that reason, but I might still want to bring in some more reach. We could just let our opponent deck themselves pretty easily. We have Bump in the Nights. They do have double Ludovic's Test Subject. We can always steal those with Olivia, but those are going to be tricky to deal with otherwise. There's also Curse of Oblivion. Try and keep our opponent's grave under control. The problem is that they get to pick the cards being exiled, and we saw how quickly they could just churn through, like, the amount of cards that they can put into the grave is just too high. We could also Night Terrors away something like Spider Spawning. So, an interesting choice to be sure. I don't really think we need the Diregraph, Ghoul, or the Rats. Or yeah, let's change gears a little bit here. Maybe even take out a land. It's very difficult to deal with all those spiders once they start coming, but we will have the tumblers for them at least. Let's try this out. This is a very iffy build, but it might be what we need. We'll see. Okay, well, we have the Olivia and the Tembler. This might be crazy. I'm actually going to keep it. We have some of the best cards in our deck in hand, and we are against a very slow deck. Oh, and I just realized Sever the Bloodline is also quite good at dealing with the spiders. We really only need lands, and I think we have a very solid chance of winning. Again, our opponent is super slow. So unless this happens and we get stuck, I think we have a fair shot. I'm just going to go ahead and pitch the least impactful cards. Patrician. There's the Selhoff Occultist and the Test Subject. Mill themselves again. Scarecrow. Alright, we're just going to keep on pitching. This is unfortunate, but we really only need 3 lands to be semi-safe. And we have 12 life, essentially, in hand. And they're still not doing anything. They're just twisting away. I do have Memory's Journey. They can shuffle some things back. Land. Nope. Alright. Well, sometimes your top 11 cards only have 1 land in them, but that's to be expected, I guess. But as we can see, our opponent has been through half their deck and only has 2 power in play. We'll be able to deal with that with the Brimstone Volley. Maybe one day. Swamp. Swamp, alright. I'm going to hang on to the Priest, I think. It's just not really worth throwing him away yet, and we'll just bump in the night. So that way, if we miss again, we won't have to like discard or something. Ooh, Ambush Viper, alright. That is fine. They still can't transform, they need double black for it. We can Tumbler away the Ambush Viper. Okay, still haven't really hit anything. Oh, they repetitioned a Dream Twist and then twisted again, hitting all lands. That's okay. Opponent's deck is sweet when it does what it's supposed to. Alright, let's Tumbler again. We're actually outracing them, just as we planned. As long as they don't transform the bat, I think we're okay for now. Even if they do, we'll eventually be able to sever it. Obviously, if we're dead, it doesn't work. But if they just keep playing little medium creatures, we can Tumbler them away. Dream Twist 3 more lands. Opponent only has 12 cards left in deck. 9 cards left. I hit a Scob and another Dream Twist. Yeah, we might be able to just deck them now. We've got double Tumbler here. If we could just draw a land. I'm actually going to play the High Priest and trade it for the Viper, I think. Our opponent has 5 draw steps. No, that's not true. They have a Memory's Journey, which puts 3 cards from grave back into the library, so that will be fine. Yeah, I'm going to have to trade this off. That's just fine. Alright, land. Nope. 2 lands in our top 15. We only took out 1 land, I'm fairly certain. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, hopefully now they just start going with the spider spawning and we can Tumbler it away repeatedly. I mean, we're going to draw like 4 lands in a row, I'm sure. They Dream Twist again? 4 Dream Twists, wow. There's the spider spawn, so it's coming next turn. Let's see what they do here. Memory's Journey targeting Runic Repetition, and Swamp. So they are out of swamps. They need that second one to transform here. This is unusual. If we had mana that we could actually flashback these Temblers and keep pace with the spider spawning, I think we would have been fine. But sometimes you just don't get past that second land. There they are. At this point, we're dead. I don't even want to show them the Tembler. Of course, there it is. We could Tembler them, and then they have to waste time using Runic Repetition, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can recast it if they have a land. Have a mountain and like Runic Repetitions left. Oh, they exiled the spider spawning, right? So yeah, they're going to Runic Repetition it, and if they have a land, they get to cast it again. Even if I use the Tembler, I'm still going down to like 1. So yeah, we're just dead. That was poor, unfortunate. I do like Night Terrors, except it exiles the card, so they can use that Runic Repetition to get back the spider spawning anyway. I kind of like Curse of Oblivion. Those Runic Repetitions eventually will go away. Maybe. 2 of them is very difficult to deal with. Yeah, let's just try that again and hope that the Temblers actually come up. I'm actually going to take the draw once again, and this I will keep. I have the lands, at least. I could have bumped them, but I'm going to hang on to it anyway. They're mulching away. Land, land, repetition, and bat. So it's good that a repetition went away already. So I think they can actually go infinite with repetition, memory's journey, to put repetition back in the grave, or from grave to the deck, and then repetition to get back the exiled whatever and ever, forever and ever. So yeah, they fairly certainly have infinite draws, unless they somehow mill both of the repetitions and I can pull away the memory's journey or something like that. It's not very likely to happen, but we'll see. Alright, Scarecrow, Cultist, and the Bat. They just have some medium creatures. Dream Twisting into Dream Twist and Fortress Crabs. Okay, so next turn we can actually start making demons. With the Geist Flame, we can pop the Stitcher's Apprentice and then make a demon. And maybe that's enough. This would have been much better on the play, sadly. Our opponent's still just Dream Twisting. They hit another Runic Repetition, so yeah, they have to have that that one card. Brain Weevil, Ludovic, okay. Alright. Let's make a demon. I shouldn't be doing. I should be waiting until the end of their turn, probably. But this at least makes it so they can't turn the apprentice into whatever, into a 2/2. Not that that really matters. Oh, what am I doing? Man, I totally could have attacked with the Juggernaut first. I realize. Well, I still can. I can, in response, make my demon, and then it gets untapped. I should be thinking more carefully through these things. So yes, it is good that we Geist Flamed on our turn. Juggernaut must attack anyway. So suddenly, our opponent's at 15. We have 10 power on the board, although it's going to be hard to get this Juggernaut back up and running. We have Bump in the Night. Our opponent has to, play Kindercutch. That's fine. We're going to attack for 5 here. And if they attack with that Kindercutch, we can actually still use the Ghoul. We can trade off the Rakish Heir or the Ghoul, let it die. That's going to untap the Juggernaut, and then we can tap that creature and the other one and get another demon, and that's lethal. I'm not going to actually reveal the Bump in the Night just yet. I'm going to wait. They probably know that we got something, but it's not like it's really going to constrain me from using my mana, I don't think. And I can flashback in one turn anyway. Alright, they're gnawing to the bone to gain 16 life. They can do that again to gain another 16. And they're not going to give us more demons. Okay. Sever the bloodline to deal with that Kinder Catch. It's too bad this doesn't kill the creature. I think I might need to save this for spider tokens. I would be able to get through like an extra 2 damage and grow. Yeah, we can always flash it back. They do have those, what are they called? Ambush Vipers. So if that happens, they'll get to untap our Juggernaut by killing one of our creatures, but we won't have enough untapped creatures to use the Skurstag. I'm just going to try and force some damage through. I was not going to risk a Skurstag, however. And I'll go ahead and bump them too. Alright. Opponent's just going to use Gnaw to the Bone again. And they can buy that back with Runic Repetition if they have them, but we see that they've already milled 2 of them. There's another Dream Twist, missing, just hitting land. Flash it back, missing, hitting Ludovic and Viper. Now they can cast Spider Spawning. But it seems they don't have it. It's really in one of the bottom 3 cards. It might very well be, and that is horrendously bad luck, if that's the case. We're in big trouble though if they have Memory's Journey. They're going to get these Runic Repetitions back and keep rebuying again and again. It is a very powerful deck, as we can see. There they are. I was wondering when they would show up. Yep. I guess we just keep trading a demon then. So we'll untap the Juggernaut and we'll just turn it into another demon once it dies. If it dies, they're just going to trade one spider. No, they're actually going to kill it. I get to kill 2 spiders at a time. Oh, what am I doing? I realized I had Sever the Bloodline. That's fine, actually. We'll just get them the next time. Do need to think that through, though. Alright, need to do this now. Let's go ahead and just tap the squishy things. Make a replacement demon, burn our opponent out a little bit. And then likely next turn we'll be severing some spiders. If they just tap out for all the spiders, maybe we have a shot. They have 1 card in hand, 1 card in deck. If it's Memory's Journey though, they just keep rebuying indefinitely. Okay, make your spiders, that's fine. Let's sever one of you. Oops, keep a mountain open. Oh wait, costs 8, doesn't it? Let's see. Costs 7. 1, 2, 3, 7. Whoops, okay, whatever. And attack. So they're effectively at 12. If they block this, then they're 5, 9, 12, 15. Huh, so close with the bump. They just Runic Repetition back. Oh man. Let's just attack with everybody. That's lethal, right? 5, 10, 16? No, it'll be at 1 life. Alright, no more Gnaw to the Bone. If their last card is Memory's Journey, I think we have it. They can shuffle these Runic Repetitions back into the grave, but they can't draw it then. I think it's the last card. That's insane. I don't see Memory's Journey in there. It wasn't flashed back. So unless they have the last 2 cards is another Runic Repetition or a Nod of the Bone, they're just dead if it wasn't his last card. It's a Memory's Journey, yeah. So he can go infinite with it, returning repetition, repetition, whatever, using the repetitions to buy back the Memory's Journey, and whatever else he wants, really. Yeah, there it is, last card. His deck is insanely good. This is the way that you draft Spider Spawning. I thought our deck was strong, but yeah, that's pretty cool. That'll do it. Alright, on to the finals then. Match 3 coming right up. In match 3, once again, very lucky to be on the play all 3 matches with a keepable hand. Vampire into Vampire, these actually work pretty well together. And even Geist Flame to deal with early aggression, Brimstone Volley for bigger things. Oh god, please no more spider spawning, I can only handle so much. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Pass so quickly. I'll just do it now. Geist Flame the Delver away. It's very risky to let it flip. We don't have a chance to respond. Once they reveal that card, it flips. So I wanted to get rid of it now. Although it is, in my experience, very unlikely that Delvers flip ever. You need at least, I think, like 10 or 11 sorceries an instance to make it reliably flip in a turn or 2. And it's just hard to play that many and still be a, you have to go out of your way to constrain your deck. And that's for that reason I don't really think Delver is worth playing. I guess it could be a good tempo play if it does flip and they have some equipment to give it. This is going to be brutal for our opponent. And because we drew the Patrician, we even get another thing to play. So let's Geist Flame that. They probably wanted to trade off with the Rakish Heir. I'm surprised they knew about the Flashback even. So the fact that we had the second one that we can still play another creature is very nice. Had we not drawn the Markov Patrician, I would want to Geist Flame that using the Flashback and save the cheaper cast from my hand. But this is good. I have a creature to block. We Crossway Vampire it, and now we have a Patrician and a Rakish Heir, both getting very, very big. This is very good. Crossway says, you cannot block me. And that's going to make our Patrician big enough to punch through an Abyssinian Priest in the future. And our opponent's had enough. Alright, so Vamps and Geist Flame. Very, very good together, it seems. So they have Delvers. They're probably going to, I'm guessing, have Invisible Stalkers and equipment to give it. Rolling Temblors are only out to that. Well, yeah, actually, Sever the Bloodline does not work against Hexproof. I can't think of anything else we'd really want to bring in. Harvest Pyre, I guess, is a nice way to deal with an Abyssinian Priest. It can be, at least, as we saw there. It's hard to get things in the grave that you don't want to exile, or that you don't mind exiling. The Geist Flames and Moans in the Unhallowed, I don't really want to exile them if I don't have to. I'll bring in a Tembler, take out a land on the draw, as we've done before. And this Tembler is mostly just a hedge against if they go turn 2 Stalker, and then like turn 3 play a Silver Inlaid Dagger or Butcher's Cleaver. The only way we're coming back from that is with a Tembler. And it just happens to also work well against things like Abyssinian Priests, Delvers before they transform, etc. Like that guy right there. Okay, Scarstag. Ugh, this is tough actually. I don't really want to play him knowing that he's going to get Temblered. I'm actually going to wait. I think it's safer. Also, I really don't like Tembler when we have Moans and Scarstag. And of course, now this is going to transform, I just know it. Or maybe not. But yeah, our Handweir, Watchkeep, our Screeching Bat, these things can withstand a Tembler quite easily. It looks like our opponent's actually mana screwed, so as painful as it is, we're going to play out the Watchkeep. This is as good a time as any to get it to transform. I hope that our match 3 isn't over in like 6 minutes, but If that's what happens, it happens. Still no transform. What a huge surprise. I guess, yeah, so our opponent is land screwed. They're very likely to, like, 15 lands still in deck, so it's a 50-50 every turn that they draw a land. And how many creatures are they also playing? It just seems really hard to play enough instants and sorceries to really justify the Delver, I think. It could just be an early drop that they want to suit up with like a Spectral Flight or some equipment. Why are they main phasing the Midnight? Oh, to keep the transform, right. That makes sense. Juggernaut, he's not going to get through in a long time. Screeching Bat can block spirits, as an Abattoir Ghoul cannot block them, but it can get through them. If we plan to Tembler anytime soon, then let's just go ahead and play out the Bat. Maybe Tembler next turn. If they don't play anything, then watch keep transforms. If they do play something, like an Abyssinian Priest, then we're good. It gets swept away. Alright, more flyers. That's a nuisance, but can be dealt with. What are they doing here? Okay, 1 damage. Maybe they didn't know that it flies? No. Again with the ghouls, let's just play out the Juggernaut. Pass. We have a big thing coming soon, and we can get the Juggernaut to untap with like a Tembler, even if it just kills the Delver. I really want them to play an Abyssinian Priest or something. That card is very strong against Juggernaut. I want to get rid of it. One of the only ways to do that is with Tembler. I want to cast this so we can start deploying our other things. Alright, I'll take a mob. And a priest. No priest. Are they leaving back the Chapelgeist? Looks like they may be. No, okay. They want to hit for 2, we'll hit for 2. This is reasonable. Still no transformation. There's our swamp, alright. Let's go ahead and attack with Juggernaut. Yeah, I think we're actually going to go ahead and do the Tembler Scourge Dag. Can't just sit here, let them recover. Feeling of Dread, okay. Oh, it's really good against the Juggernaut too, sadly. Yeah, it is very bad. Oh, well they did it before attacks even, so that's a bit of a mistake our opponent will soon find. Let's go ahead and Tembler. That will untap our Juggernaut. They should have waited until beginning of combat to do that. And I don't like to take advantage of a misplay, something like that, especially when our opponent was land screwed and all that, but it also seems kind of improper just to excuse it. So let's move to attacks. Get old Jugsy in there. It feels bad knowing about Abyssinian Priests and Feeling of Dread. If we go to a game 3, I think we're going to be taking out the Juggernaut, sadly. But now, if we draw anything to kill anything, we start making 5/5 demons, and we no longer really care about Juggernaut being unable to attack. It's also nice not having to worry about the Delver anymore. Ugh, Battleground Geist, that's bad. That is going to rapidly hasten their clock. Okay, can I get a Geist Flame or a Morbid? Brimstone Volley would be good. I'm not going to transform. I can add more power by playing out the Moans. I might just actually leave the Bat back now to defend. Yeah, actually, I can still make a demon that way. So 3/2 or 2/2s. Let's get an Abattoir down. So now if they want to attack, I'll turn a 2/2 into a 5/5 flyer. They can use Feeling of Dread to force through an extra 11. Oh, I just saw what life we're at. Well, isn't this awkward? Do they remember Feeling of Dread before blocks? If not, I think we're okay. They did not remember, so they probably had us there. They might still have us. Wait, what am I thinking? This is only 8 damage. It's not 9. There's another 3-power guy in there that I was missing somehow. Alright, so we're going to kill these two. That's going to untap our Juggernaut. Let's let it untap once. Not that this really matters. We can do the ghouls. I could have tapped in between or whatever. This is okay. And we'll make a demon. So we're still in a lot of trouble if we don't find an answer to one of these geists. Brimstone Volley would be very nice here. Anything that results in killing a creature. Oh man. The only way I can kill creatures is with Rolling Tembler, which unfortunately kills the High Priest as well. Well, if they, okay, so yeah, we're still dead because they just tapped down the demon. Do they remember? Feeling of Dread? Ugh, man. Do they have Rebuke or Village Bellringer, I wonder? Yeah, we'll go ahead and attack. I can always make things to tap with the Skarsdag High Priest with the Moan of the Unhallowed. This is 18 damage, so they have to have a blocker. Did they forget about Feeling of Dread? Is that lethal? I almost want to concede because of the numerous misplays regarding Feeling of Dread and getting a 3rd game in. This is an awkward position to be in. I mean, it kind of feels like I'm cheesing our opponent if he's giving me information he doesn't have to. Counterspell. They definitely had us. All they had to do was tap like our 1 flyer down. We can't kill them then, and we have no flying blocker. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll take the win. Good game. Okay. Well, I would have been happy to play out a 3rd game there, but our opponent unfortunately needs to go, so there we have it. That is a complete Innistrad Draft. I intend to do more of these if I can, so stay tuned to watch in the future. Thanks again, everyone. I guess what we learned from this draft is that Olivia is beyond busted, and Rolling Tembler is a nice way to deal with spiders, but not infinite amounts of them. And yeah, everything else pretty much performed as I would expect. Keep your opponents off kilter with quick, easy removal spells like Geist Flame and Morbid Brimstone Volley, and your little vampires, Rakish Airs, and Markov Patricians can get there as well. So lots of aggression in red and black. Hopefully we get to try a new archetype next time. Stay tuned, everyone.